Mentoring Missions Advocates. This is globalcastresources.com.
Hello, I'm Bevan with Global Cast Resources. We have become convinced that familiar missions verse, Acts 1:8, is essential to seeing the whole church bring the whole gospel to the whole world. And yet that verse is often misunderstood, misquoted. For example, what it actually says is this: "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth." But what people read it as or understand it as, often they're thinking it says, "You will be my witnesses either in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, or the uttermost parts of the earth." So the way that works out is, hey, so glad you're called to the nations. I'm called to be here in our hometown. Bye-bye. Have fun storming the castle. You do that and I'll do this. Either or. And yet every believer, if we understand things correctly, can be involved in the Great Commission, can be involved in reaching the uttermost parts of the earth. It's not either or. There are some who are called to go, but those who don't have key roles in sending and covering in prayer and all of those vital roles. So it's not either or. But another one that's also out there is a misquotation, misunderstanding that says, "You shall be my witnesses first in Jerusalem, then Judea, then Samaria, then to the ends of the earth." So first then is commonly works out like, hey, why should we fly over a mission field to go to a mission field? Let's do our city first, and then we'll think about reaching the nations. And that has some problems in that that's not what the original language says. But also, when will you know that you're done? By what standard will we measure our city being finished and reached? Is it everybody being saved, everybody being discipled? And by the way, that city is not a closed system. There are people going out and coming in all the time. Many of the people coming in to our cities are from the Muslim, Hindu, and Buddhist worlds. And it's really wise, of course, to reach them as they come. And yet it's very strategic to go to the roots of those ideologies with the gospel. So we cannot just think first, then. It has to be both and that's what the verse actually says, both and. And yet somebody could say, well, how can I do both and? I am one person, I can only be at one place at one time. Well, again, if we put prayer and sending into the equation, it takes off all geographical and vocational barriers. It's very clear that anybody could be involved in reaching the uttermost parts of the earth, no matter where they're located geographically and no matter what they're called to do vocationally. And so this is so important to understand, because yes, some will go, but if we had 1 out of 200 go to the nations, that would be amazing. But those other 199 could be crucially involved in supporting and praying and sending those guys. And that's not a second-class calling. That's not a lesser calling, to be those who enable and launch and support and sustain those who go. That's a crucial role in fulfilling the Great Commission. So it's definitely possible for us to be Acts 1:8 Christians and to start Acts 1:8 businesses where we're not only focused on being a blessing locally, but we adopt an unreached people group, or we support missionaries who are over there from our business, from our local churches, and be Acts 1:8 in our both andness as we go forward. So let's avoid first then thinking in terms of the Great Commission. Let's avoid either or thinking in terms of the Great Commission. Acts 1:8 is a both and verse, and we are called to be both and disciples who can be involved locally and globally.
The whole church bringing the whole gospel to the whole world. This is globalcastresources.com.